Hey there, everybody. I decided to go in front of the Christmas tree this morning. Oh my goodness. I'm just like, I am admittedly just freaking exhausted. I am so exhausted. Probably because I just go, but I will just tell you, I am exhausted. I'm actually looking forward to the next few days of just a little bit more chill and only teaching at a festival, like there's no exhaustion in that, right? It's just been one of those high season, tons of activity in so many different directions. And I am one of those people that I don't know when to stop. I just do not know when to stop. Kind of like my dog right now who's trying to get into stuff. And last night, Addison, she hosted a tantric integration puja, which if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or if you can ever make it to one of her tantric integration pujas, I am a fan. I love her integration pujas just because of the deep dive work that happens there and opening and just this beautiful, beautiful connection. So definitely going woo-woo to that. So make sure that if you are local, that you make it to that. But hey, morning Patrick, morning Craig. I am just one of those people that just goes and I don't know when to stop and I want to get everything perfect all the time. I have this like OCD nature, this perfectionist tendency. I'm a Virgo, and being true to the Virgo tendencies, that's very much me. It used to be a lot worse in my teens, in my 20s growing up. I was that kid who did not get anything wrong. I was always, teacher's pet, favorite student, worked my ass off to get it all right, always had my assignments in on time, was prompt with everything. I had a really messy bedroom though as a kid. I did. Now I'm more like, I'm not an overboard neat freak. 7 children kind of cured me of that. But I remember in my early 20s, I would get so caught up in having everything just was the mom who was cleaning baseboards with a toothbrush, quite literally, and that was like my pastime. That was like my chill time. And well, there was that, and I had all the toys organized. My daughter, she would play with toys, and they would get all mixed up, and then I would take like 30 minutes to sit down in her bedroom. And speak of my daughter, there's Rebecca now. I remember when Rebecca and Sam were little, and I had like all these compartments organized, and I had all these this concept that I was teaching a really healthy way of being by getting everything organized and everything in alignment and perfect, and I wanted the perfect house, and I wanted to be this, what I refer to as like the Molly Mormon mom. So, it was like I had to look a certain way. My house had to be a certain way. I had to have dinner on the table by a certain time. I had to be cooking this food and that food. My kids needed to look like this and act like that. And there was just this like constriction. Now, my kids at that point were, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. They were little. And this perfection idea, get it right all the time, had me so locked up, so exhausted energetically. That's impossible. She's got 3 babies. It's impossible. And it's impossible to have this, to be perfect. But what do we have? We are taught that we need to be perfect, that we need to get it right, that there's something wrong if we let our humanness out. Yesterday during the integration puja, one of the main topics I saw coming up from different participants, attendees in this beautiful workshop, was just this hang up from their youth. And I really resonated with it because I think that we all have this, but we have it at different degrees. And for some of us, it's this like constant inside of like, oh man, like what are people going to think? This is showing that I'm not a good enough person, that I'm not worthy of abundance, of love, of joy, of connection, of fulfillment in different fashions. That I'm just not worthy because I'm being human. And perfectionism does not leave us any space to be human. But we do this to our kids early on. I did this to, my daughter Rebecca there. I did this to her older sister Sam when they were little, and I mean I killed it off pretty quickly, which was good, thank God for that. But I do even remember as the kids grew and stuff, you know, when they were young teenagers, that tween age, of just having this anxiety around there were dishes in the sink and that there were toys on the table and there was this and there was that. I actually have a table that my father-in-law, grandpa, and I built probably 14 years ago now together. And over Thanksgiving break, Becca was over actually, and she's like, "What? You're letting the boys? Since when are we allowed to draw on the table, Mom?" Because my 4-year-old and 6-year-old have gotten a Sharpie and decided to draw on the table. This has always been my arts and crafts table. It's always been it was a humongous table that seats everybody. And I've always wanted it to kind of just be very family and not the prissy, you know, perfect dining room table, but very more country homey. I never allowed anybody to draw on this table though. Like that was a no. We do not draw on the table. Because that's what we teach, right? We teach don't draw on the walls. We teach don't draw on the furniture. We teach like respect property. And that's the concept there. Well, they got a hold of a Sharpie and they drew on the table. And I just realized that after 14 years, I was like, you know, it's the family table. Like, why am I having a shit fit right now over a Sharpie on an old table that I kind of want to graffiti the top of anyway, because I think it would be cool, and then laminate that puppy, maybe throw some pictures on it, like just have something like that. And so Becca was like, you know, when did you start allowing this? I'm like, well, you know, and it's just like there's a certain grace that we give ourselves when we let go of the constraints of perfectionism, of always trying to get it right, of always trying to be perceived in a certain fashion, of always trying to have things lined up perfectly. Because what are we doing? We are trying to control the environment. Stop. We are trying to control the environment, and it's causing us anxiety, it's causing us worry, it's causing us fear, and this is making us step into the land of suffering instead of the land of joy. And what do? It's all about, like, what do we want? We want happiness. We want joy. We want connection. We want love. We want to feel worthy. So we feel that we have to earn these things that should just be unconditional to us. And they are, if we allow them to be unconditional. She is such a rub slut. This dog here. They are, it is all unconditional to us. Just abundance allows us, I'm talking abundance in time, abundance in well-being, abundance in connection. And you know what? And that kind of abundance also leads to our financial abundance, because when we're happy, when we're joyful, we are more open to receiving in multiple ways. And we're not sitting in the land of suffering. We're not sitting over there in our pain bodies going, oh man, you know, I wish I had, because we're not focused on the negative. But what do? We, because of perfectionism, this concept of I must get it right. I must have it done in this time frame. I must. Things must go this way, or else it's just not going to be okay. That right there, that puts this constraint around our joy, around our happiness. All right, we get it. You want some love. It puts the constraint around our joy and our happiness, and it makes it impossible for us to actually achieve the joy and the happiness, the connection. It puts separation into our relationship with anything, even with the people that we have. And what do we have right now? Like, we have this time of the year where everybody is in the middle of a hustle and a bustle. Traffic is, you know, horrendous out there. Weather changes. People are working extra hours. Kids have funky schedules. There's 1,000,001 activities going on, events to go to. We all have this, and then we've got to, you know, deck the halls with Christmas, and we've got to start planning out the food and travel and all this different stuff, make sure that everybody has an allotted amount of presents and the stockings or stuff, and there's like all this extra stress, not to mention that we have this new year, new decade of life coming at us as well, with the turn of 2020 coming on. So there's a lot of stress, and I'm seeing consistently this desire to get it all right, to get it perfect, to make sure that it's all just so. And what does that do? It just causes more overwhelm, more stress, more anxiety. And where's the joy? There's zero joy in that. So my message to you today is like, look at those areas where you're constructing, trying to get it perfect, and realize you're yourself grace to be human, to just let it go. Like, seriously, if you don't have all your Christmas shopping done by the whatever your date of choice is, who the fuck cares? Like, seriously, that whoever you're buying for, like, if you've got so many presents underneath your tree for each kid or something, you know, I know that it's always been a thing of in my house where like my kids always counted like, well, she got 3 and I got 4 and haha, you know, like that. So it's like trying to get that. There's that kind of stuff. But the reality is that you don't have to have everything done at the end of each and every day to justify the ability to take a moment for yourself, to give yourself some self-love, to go, I can get to that tomorrow. Like, that's not, you know what? It's not going anywhere. That's not going anywhere. It doesn't mean that I'm being less worthy, less human because I didn't get this task completed, or my house isn't perfectly decked out by this date, or decked out at all. You know, like sometimes you might just need to just like chill the fuck out, not do it all. I have enough decorations to decorate probably 20 trees and 3 houses. Like, I love Christmas. I love Christmas, and I could deck that much out. Reality is when I was digging through the attic and I'm going through all this stuff and I got all these boxes down, I'm opening them up and I'm like, damn, you know, like what happened is, and there were things that got broke over the year and all that, candles that had got put up in the attic that melted all over other stuff. So it forced me into getting rid of old stuff, and I'm like, well, you know, oh well. So it's out with the old and in with new, potentially, maybe not. And I was looking at it, I'm just like, you know, I could do all of this, and there's a piece of me that feels like I should have my house completely decked out. And I went, but I'm not a fuck yes to that. Like, I'm happy with what I got going on right now. I'd rather spend the time having an experience with my family, having an experience with a friend, doing something that's creative, providing time to self, to just, because I've been so much in the hustle, because I recognize my go-go tendencies and not knowing when to stop for self, I'm going, you know what? You need to provide yourself a little self-care, and you need to take care of you, or else you're not going to be anything for anybody else. So the abundance needs to come in the love of self, in the grace of giving. Perfect, because in our imperfection is our beauty. In that imperfection is where we do connect, where we do relate. We're not putting ourselves up here and just going, well, I've got it all figured out and I'm so blah, blah, blah. There is no love of self, love of others. There is no true connection. There's no spiritual charge in that. Embodiment in that. That is our ego trying to get us to be. And we're so much more, because that's all surface shit that we're going. We're bigger than that. We're bolder than that. We're more beautiful than that. We have so much more power than all of that. But the only way we tap into everything that we are is to embody our unity and breathe into it and go, you know, I can take a day where I just Netflix it today. I can take a day where I don't get the laundry done because the laundry's not going anywhere else. I can take a day where I go, no, I don't necessarily need to do overtime today. I can actually leave work at this time. Yes, I might need the additional whatever the funds that are, but I'm really just actually truly the most loving thing. And here's the question. What is the most loving thing that you can do for yourself today? What is the most loving thing that you can do for yourself today so that you really be all that you want to be for your life, for the other people in your life, for everything? Because if you do the most loving thing for you, you're also doing the most loving thing for the relationships that you have with other people, with your sex, with your work, with anything that you're wanting. Everything is a relationship, but it only is going to flourish if you do the most loving thing in any given moment for self. And might sound selfish. It is, but that's the way it's intended to be. It's intended to be selfish. We tend to martyr ourselves and victimize ourselves, and we draw ourselves out to just nothing, where there's nothing left. So what good are we to anybody if we have nothing to give? Because we didn't take care of the most important person in the room. But perfectionists, the concept of getting it right all the time leaves zero room to love self. Because sometimes the most loving act is to not get it right, is to just let yourself be, to just go, I'm taking a moment. So I'm going to go take a moment and sit my ass hair today and get my blonde fixed and get blue in my hair. I'm kind of excited about that. I'm being playful. I went and got my nails to match yesterday. I have some blonde, some teal streaks in my hair, get my roots done, and just chill, and then go and take my kids to Santa tonight and have dinner and not do a damn fucking thing outside of that. Now, granted, I do have 2 coaching calls I'm going to be taking while getting my hair done and that kind of stuff. And I got, a plan, but it's not, if I get to it, I get to it. If I don't, I don't. And that's what I'm going to encourage you to do, is to look for, maybe you can't do a whole day, 20 minutes today, to just pause, to just breathe into yourself and allow yourself some sort of self-loving act where you're not just pushing and going and looking at everything that needs to be done and how you're falling down about it. Look and see if you can find some way to bring back into a space of love for yourself and relaxation, to allow yourself to reduce the restriction that you in your life, because I can pretty much guarantee you are not happy with this moment. Are not happy about, really just tapping into this moment and breathing into it and allowing it to be whatever it is. Morning, Lance. Morning, David. Morning, Perry. Thanks for sharing. I'm just catching up here real quick. What's your opinion on tantric sex? Well, my opinion's all over my website, all over other conscious coffees, and that's not the topic of this conscious coffee. I'd be more than happy to discuss that, or you can search that out in any of my content, because I have a massive amount of content, so I'm just not going to answer that question. Sorry, it's off topic right now. This is about perfectionism. This topic is about perfectionism, lifestyle, and loving yourself enough. And here's the reality on that note of tantric sex. You ain't never going to enjoy tantric sex if you can't get present in who you are, if you can't enjoy this moment, if you can't get out of this headspace of trying to get it perfect, because tantric sex means to bring that weaving, that flow into your sex. So there's my viewpoint on tantric sex. If you can't get right with you right now in other realms of your world, then the sex ain't ever going to be that tantric, that good, that gourmet. Again, perfectionism. Are you coming at your life from this headspace, or are you coming at it from a I love myself space? And I encourage you to love yourself today, to honor yourself today, to bring yourself into a moment, just 15 minutes, just 15 minutes. That's really all it really takes. 15 minutes to just, and let go of the constriction that you have put on yourself, those cords, those wires, those chains that we all tend to do to ourselves, and trying to always get it right. Let go of that. You already have it right. You're breathing. You're already worthy. You're already lovable. You're already complete. You're already fulfilled. You already are abundant. You just got to put down the shit that's blocking you from actually being able to see the pile of gold that's right before you, and that you have accessible to you. So encourage you to do that today. I don't really have too much of specials going on. I have my 12 days of Christmas special. They know it's not that big of a special. It's only 80% off of everything. It's not a big deal, but that is available for the next 12 days. It's available until Christmas. I guess it's 13 days. And that's available to, I've got my goddess bundle on there, which is 8 online programs. This is $1,800 worth of content at 80% off. I'm doing all these bundles for $197. You might go, why the fuck $200 for a bunch? Well, you've got hours and hours worth of content there. I got my Goddess 2020 bundle, and that is for the ladies in the house, learning about sex, learning about empowerment, learning about all the good richness of life, loving self, tapping into really having that dynamic, like, fuck yes experience. Then I've got the guys bundle, like man the fuck up bundle is what I think I called that. The man the fuck up bundle for 2020. And this is for you gentlemen who want to learn about tantric arts, who want to not just be the average Joe, who want to really know about that divine masculine energy, tap back into those primal roots, learn about female sexuality, learn about tantric things, but also the empowerment and the beauty of what purpose means in a man, and how you can really step up and be a leader with the woman in your life, with money, with sex, with work, with women, and be able to really tap into that. So that's also available. That is like $1,600 marked down to $197. Amazing. There's 8 workshops in there, massive content, massive. And then I've got, because I work a lot with entrepreneurs, I'm like the coach's coach and the therapist coach and the and there's this whole beautiful dynamic of people out there who are accessing and wanting to thrive and have the business of their own and their own schedule and their own, just like I'm the boss of 2020 bundle that's out there too, which is 5 beautiful online business programs to really teach you how to tap into your soul work and how you can really bring that about and have not just a little bit like, yeah, I got my own business, but no, I got my really fucking amazing business. I'm making 6 figures, like I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I have all this freedom, all of this, like it's a fuck yes lifestyle. So that is available as well. There are 3 different bundles for you. Make sure that you check that out. Make sure that there is a link in the comment section. As always, if you're catching this on a replay, make sure that you let me know that you've caught it on the replay. To everybody else following, thank you for your likes, your loves, your comments. Hit the share button if I've said anything that touched you in any fashion, made you think of somebody that needs to get present in the moment and love themselves a little bit more. That's, got that little hang up of like trying to get all right, all perfect. And it's very overwhelming, chaotic time of the year, or just in their life in general. Hit the share button, get this message to them. Help me get these messages out there. And as always, I love you guys. Stop existing, start living. I will catch you tomorrow with blue in my hair. And I will catch you tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee. Love you guys.